Welcome to Planning for the Future, the podcast.
Welcome to the show. We're sitting here with Brendon Murphy of Compass Financial Solutions Incorporated out of Philadelphia. How you doing, Brendon?
I'm great, Brendon. How you doing?
It's nice to have somebody with the same name on here.
Spelled exactly the same every time.
Yeah. Well, we'll both misspell our names back and forth to each other in emails, okay? So
definitely.
We're in a really, really interesting time when it comes to financial planning. Is there certain contingency plans that advisors like yourself have gone through to work out in times like this?
Well, what we're looking at, Brendon, is we're looking at our clients right now and making sure that they're still in the best possible position to move forward with the economic climate that we're in. You can see the up and down of the market, and people are scared. They shouldn't, should they move their money out? Should they not move their money? It just really depends on your philosophy and how you look at it overall. And as long as your advisor is giving you the best information going forward, hopefully that's, you're working with someone who will do that.
Right. It's a whole new world for you and pretty much for everybody to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, it is. Because, normally we work in buckets. We like to put everything in little buckets. Everything has its little place. You have your CDs, your money markets, your annuities, your stocks and bonds, IRAs, 401ks. And, without most people having pensions these days, the 401k is what everyone's living on. And right now, people don't even want to open up their statements or look online at them.
Yeah. That's bad for the heart. Bad for the heart.
It can be.
You open that 401k. Holy smokes.
It was a good day yesterday, though, so hopefully it continues.
Yeah. Thank goodness for something like that. So how did you get into the financial planning?
Well, my father-in-law, who's been in the insurance business for going on 50 years now. One day, we were sitting there talking, and one of his sons was in the military. His other is a graphic designer. Weren't really going to get into business. And he felt that he needed somebody else to work with. And I was at a point in time where I was working a couple different jobs and felt that it was something that interested me. We had recently just had a son with Down syndrome. And I kind of got into the whole thing of, taking care of other people besides just myself and my wife.
And how long have you been doing it now?
I'm going on 7 years now. I got my license and been doing life insurance, annuities. We do Social Security planning, retirement planning, income planning specifically for people. They're in that retirement phase, which people are now, and looking to figure out the best way for them to get income besides Social Security or, that third leg of the stool.
Yeah, that planning for long-term care, that's one that, it tends to be something that people put off a little bit because they always think there's always tomorrow, but there's never really a bad time to start planning for long-term care. No, there really isn't. You find a lot of people, had long-term care at some point and just got tired of paying the premiums because it was too expensive. It looks like with one every 8 seconds somebody's diagnosed with Alzheimer's in this country, and what it's looking like about home care is about $7,000 a month. Where are you getting this extra money to pay for this long-term care? So we try to come up with a couple different solutions to help people out with that. That's an important thing, especially the statistics. You don't really, until you hear a statistic like that, you don't really grasp the concept of how many people do come down with that. I mean, and you can't plan for Alzheimer's. You can't plan for a stroke. You can't plan for a heart attack. Those things just kind of happen.
That's absolutely correct. You never know when you're going to need it. I mean, we try to talk to our clients and people that we sit down and talk to is we want to have this conversation with you. We don't want to have this conversation with your family why you didn't do it.
Right.
So sometimes it's a horrible conversation to have.
Yeah. And, you mentioned that people got sick of paying the premiums and things like that. And it's really evolved as far as the financial planning for long-term care. It's not the same old, you either use it or you lose it. It's not car insurance.
Not anymore, no. What a lot of people do nowadays is they're looking at 401k assets, CDs, old bonds, money markets where they're just, money's just sitting there and not getting very, very much interest. And if you could take a little bit of that money, a percentage or two, and move it over to another bucket, which could fund long-term care for your whole life, would that be something you'd be interested in? And if you don't use it, you don't lose it.
And that's something that people really need to understand. And it kind of takes away some of, I don't want to say let's say the apprehensiveness of starting that planning for long-term care. So you can start doing that, and you'll be able to use it for other things. I mean, if you have to go into a nursing home or you have to have some home care, things like that, it's there for that. But if you're not needing that, you can use it for other things, right?
Absolutely. It could be a death benefit to your heirs if you're not using it. You could, husband and wife scenario, the husband could use his 401k, or the wife could use her 401k to get long-term care for both husband and wife in one contract. I mean, and no increasing premiums right out the door. It pays tax-free. I mean, there aren't any other better way to buy long-term care these days, especially because you're going to get declined along the way for the smallest little thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, and that's what people look for too, is something that makes sense to them, and really kind of what they're buying as well is peace of mind. Peace
of mind insurance is one of our staple phrases that we use. In the last 3 weeks, people have lost, would you say, Bren, 30% of their 401k?
Hey, like you said, I have not even looked into my 401k. I'm waiting until things, kind of stabilize, if they will, before I do that, because I know that, if I look at it right now, it's going to be down. That's pretty much the way it is. But I have a feeling it'll bounce back.
Absolutely, it'll bounce back. But if you're at the age of 65 and getting ready to retire, you have another 7 years. I mean, in 2008, when the market crashed, it took 6.7 years for that money to come back to even. Do you have another 6.7 years you want to work if you're at 65 and you want to go to 72, 73? I don't know if many people want to do that these days, but most of our clients, we did was we took a portion of their assets, we rolled it over into a vehicle that was safe. So their money never went anywhere. So if they invested $300,000, their growing interest in the market dropped, didn't lose a penny. And now we're just going to sit there and look at the upswing, like the market's been doing for yesterday and today on the comeback. That's
a great point. So, God, I did not know that it took that long for people to regain what they lost in their 401ks from that amount of time. Now you scared me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, Brendon.
I'm sorry. It's just, there's statistics that are very real.
But
they lost 37% if they weren't in, a fixed fund at the time, or you can't, and there's no crystal ball for the market. As many people want to say that they can read the market, they know what's going to happen. They don't always know what's going to happen.
Right.
You don't know it's going to be 2,000 points yesterday. It goes down 1,500 points tomorrow, 3,000 points last week. It's unheard of. It's just an unsteady climate right now.
Right. And, people like yourself, as everything begins to go back to whatever the new normal is, people like yourself are going to be very important about, helping people get back on their feet.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope, that people in certain situations were able to talk to us, talk to their advisors, whoever they, needed to talk to. And we're working with our clients already. We're taking measures with our clients that we have now. We're on the phone with them every day, checking in, making sure they're good, making sure they don't need anything. Have we missed anything along the way? And if we didn't, we hope we didn't, but we're adjusting as we are and trying to talk to new clients, which we're picking up on a daily basis because they're tired of the market craziness. If they've had, CDs that are now at zero interest rates, and maybe we can find them a better return. Money markets where hopefully you're not paying banks at negative interest rates, which God forbid if we ever get to that point.
And the thing is, when it comes to financial planning and your advisors and everything, you have your armchair quarterbacks and you have the people that say, well, I'll just do it online. Well, you can try, but why not use someone like yourself who really knows the definite ins and outs? Just what we've talked about in the last 5 minutes. You've told me some things that I didn't know about, and I've been working with financial advisors for quite a long time now.
Well, thank you. I mean, I just try to we feel at Compass that we're an educational-based firm. We're trying to educate the client in the purchases they're making and the investments they're doing so that they understand if you want to call it the path that we're going down, that we're step and step going forward and looking to have the best tax considerations and tax-free income that they can have going forward.
So when someone comes in, what's the process of getting someone started?
It's really a get-to-know-you process. We want you to feel comfortable working with us just as we want to feel comfortable working with you. I try to have all my clients' cell phone numbers in my phone. So when they call, I know exactly who they are and why they're calling me, and they can text me at any time. We want to establish that relationship, get some information from them that they would, personally like to share with us. And then we like to, diagram a path that with their, with what they want to say and let us know where they want to go and how can we help them get there. That's
good. That's, that personal touch just, it makes people feel better as well. Especially in this time when you're dealing with money, money to some people is sort of a dirty subject in a way, because people are, very secretive about their money, and, it's nobody's business, obviously. But you have to be able to trust somebody when it comes into it, right?
Yeah. Because I don't pretend that I know how to run a radio show. I don't pretend to be an engineer. What I pretend and not pretend to be is what you need. I help you grow your money safely and securely, not worry about the ups and downs of the market, and provide you with a level of income that you can be satisfied that will last your whole life. That's what we do at Compass. We do it every day, and we feel that we are the experts in that area. And when it comes to life insurance, annuity planning, CD alternatives, asset-based long-term care, or we feel that we can help people in these areas, and that's what we like to do.
Right. So when it comes to the long-term care planning, obviously nobody wants to be nursing home poor or healthcare poor, which tends to happen a lot. If you start planning, say, even if you're in your 30s, your late 20s and early 30s, and you start planning, I think some of the things that people need to know is just because you started there, it's not, like we said before, it's not really it's not like car insurance. You use it or you lose it. You can take it and you can make adjustments as your life changes as well, right?
Absolutely. Because if you look at it today, nowadays, there are term products, term life insurance, 10, 15, 20, 30-year life insurance products you can buy when you're in your 30s that have long-term care chassis built in the back end. So if anything would happen to you, say you're a 40-year-old nowadays. How many 40-year-olds have you heard have had a stroke lately? It's horrible. But if they had life insurance with the built-in chassis, they could actually fund their living expenses for that year. And if they went back to, right back to where they were a year later, or if they needed it for 2 years, or, this is built into these products these days, and people don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's like buying disability insurance inside of a life insurance policy used for long-term care.
Right. And the cost of nursing home care is it's not cheap. You're looking at, anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 a month for a lot of these nursing homes, right?
Yeah, up to 10 in most places. That's what you're looking at. And how can, we can help you turn a little bit of your assets into that, payment monthly, so you're not spending down the rest of your assets, is that something that people would be interested in? Or they want to just go about it and be like, oh, I'll take care of it when we get there.
Right.
I don't know that everyone wants to do that anymore.
No, they don't. And, you'd also hear people say, well, I'll just go on Medicare or Medicaid, whatever. And, you can do that, but it's not going to get you the best possible scenario, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Because Medicaid is only going to fill in the holes for a little bit. So you're not going to get all of it. So you're going to need some kind of filler along the way, which is you spending down your assets. especially, and where we are in the state of Pennsylvania, you have to spend your assets down to under $2,000.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to give up your pension